What's up, guys? Coming at you from Shenzhen as usual, but these are some words I won't be able to say for much longer. I'm about to head over to Zhuhai by the ferry from Shenzhen and then into Macau, where I will spend 14 days. My final destination is Hong Kong, and the reason I'm not going directly from the mainland to Hong Kong is because if I do that, I have to go into a 14-day quarantine. Now, I was thinking of doing that just for the experience of it, and especially because I was quarantined in Shenzhen in 2009 during the swine flu scare, so I could kind of compare notes with how it was. But in the same facility, they have people from the cruise ship and also from Wuhan, so I decided to stay on the safe side. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to use it as an opportunity to spend some time with my second son. You know, my first son is into a lot of the same stuff that I'm into, so sometimes I feel like I communicate with him more and leave out the others a little bit, so I very often try to compensate for that and spend some time with the other kids. And of course, that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to take my second son with me to Macau for this adventure, and we'll just travel around a bit and see what it's like over there and see how the whole situation is on the ground from Shenzhen to Zhuhai to Macau. And you can see for yourself. So without further ado, let's get on the road. What's up, guys? We are in our hotel room, but we are not where you think. We failed. We're in Zhuhai. We tried to get over to Macau, and when we exited China, we managed to go through China exit customs, but when we reached the Macau side, it's a little bit of a walk, whatever, a 2-minute walk away from the China exit customs, When we got up to the immigration counter, they said to us, hey, by the way, if you enter, we're going to have to bus you off to a facility and you're going to have to wait there for 8 hours while we check your temperature every hour. I was like, no way. So with having a son with me, my son with me, and that would put us past midnight by the time we got to the hotel, well past midnight, I said, forget it. Can we go back? And they said, yeah, they will let you in on the China side without any problem. And it goes to show how separately things are managed here, because the communication between the two sides was really poor. We received no warning whatsoever when we were exiting China customs that, hey, you're going to encounter this problem over on that side. And although the Macau side said that we can enter China because, we can go back to China without a problem because we didn't enter Macau, I asked them, I said, what if we had got into Macau and we were coming back to China? Are there any requirements on their side to go through this observation period or any quarantines? And they said, we have no idea. You got to ask them over there. So it's a bit disappointing they don't communicate with each other. But again, it really highlights how separate Macau and Hong Kong really is in terms of these kinds of things. The kind of pain of it all was that on the way out of China, we had to fill in all kinds of forms. We had to scan all kinds of codes. And when we came back to China, even though we didn't successfully enter Macau, we had to do all of that stuff again to enter. We were asked quite a few times along the whole way going into Macau and coming back, which country am I from? Which country am I from? Because even Macau, although they have this 8-hour rule, I think they have a full-on 14-day quarantine requirement if you came from certain countries. I believe Italy's on the list. I can't remember the other ones. But, it's a tricky thing. Like, how do you do this without seeming discriminatory? And it's like, China sacrificed so much to control this. But they've got to actually come to terms with the fact that a lot of foreign governments are not pulling their weight. They're not doing what they need to do to control this. And they're not doing half as much as what's going on here. And so they got to take that into consideration, or otherwise everything they've sacrificed here and everything they've done will just go to waste. So it's a tricky thing. But from what I've seen from this little travel here that I've done from Shenzhen to Zhuhai and attempting to get into Macau is that it's really being treated seriously here. Multiple temperature checks. I'd say we had our temperature checked 10 times. Before we got into the ferry building, before we got into the ferry, after we got off the ferry, before we entered Zhuhai, before we entered the lobby of the hotel, before the front desk gave us our cards and we had to fill in a form. Just temperature checks like crazy. And, they have a breakfast buffet here in the hotel that we're staying in. Buffet is canceled. But what you do is you fill in a form with what food items you want, and they will deliver it to your room in the morning, and you choose what time you want it also. In all of the elevators we saw, they have hand sanitizer and tissue available, so you can press the buttons with a tissue, and a garbage can that you can throw it into the garbage after. And it's pretty intense. They are really on top of things here. And so we're going to stay here in Zhuhai. We're going to reevaluate tomorrow morning and see if we're just going to give up and going to Hong Kong. I needed to go there to renew my Hong Kong ID card, so it might just expire and I might just say, forget it. But we will figure out what to do in the morning. And I'll keep you guys updated. I'll do another video. So, I always like to look on the bright side. So we had a little bit of an adventure. We saw what was going on the ground. I got to spend some time with my son. And in the duty-free shop on the way to Macau, I picked up an interesting whiskey here. It's a whiskey that was, I believe it was aged in IPA barrels. So meaning there must have been a barrel-aged IPA beer that these guys took the barrels after and then put some whiskey in there to age their whiskey. So that's going to be interesting. I'm not going to try it tonight. I'm way too burnt out and tired, but hey, that's a pretty good find. So I don't think I've got anything else to say. I'm going to wrap it up there. That's the adventure for today, guys. So stay safe, take all the precautions you should be taking, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.